In tonight's quick video, we're going to quickly talk of where you can download and find ISO images for your Microsoft. Now, Microsoft do have an eval center, which is the evaluation center from where you can download ISO files. And if you do download an ISO file for a server or for Windows 10, it's an evaluation license. It will only be valid for 180 days. That gives you 6 months on that specific download that you've done. So in this specific case, you can see I have Windows Server 2 2022, and this is all the different versions and the different languages that you can see. For me, I'm very much just interested in the ISO. I'm not interested in a virtual hard disk. I'm not interested in trying a Zero. I want to build it on my own local machine. I do have an Azure account as well, which we can take a look on later down in my videos. But first of all, we're going to focus on completing our hacking lab, and we're going to do some penetration testing, hacking testing, encryptions and stuff like that on that lab. But first of all, let's head over here. We're going to download the 64-bit edition. I do everything in 64-bit. I have a special location where I download it to. So for now, I'm just going to download to my downloads. And I'm going to save it into downloads. And that's how easy it is to get hold of an ISO image from Microsoft Evaluation Center. You can see on top here, this is the URL from where I got Server 2022. Once it finished downloading, I'm going to install it for us on our VirtualBox lab home test, and we're going to join it to our domain and see and play around, see how it looks like. Right, I've downloaded the Windows Server 2022. So you can see I already set up a virtual server configuration for Windows 22 hometest.org. So we're going to go over here to settings, just to look at the server settings, what I've done. You can see it's already set as version 2022 64-bit. Under advanced, bidirectional. What is going to be important, because I'm going to build the server and I want to join it to my domain controller, I'm only going to have one NIC on the server, which is the internal network, because this is going to connect to the internal NIC we set up on our DC in the previous video. So you can also see the display, max out. You can see the system processor, which I gave, which is the motherboard for base memory, is 6 gig, processor 4 gig as well. So click OK. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start up the server. And let's get it installed. Just drag it over here. It's going to be like any other Windows, which you're just going to install. Very easy, very simple to do. It's not rocket science. And as you guys know, I'm based in the United Kingdom. There we go. Next, install. Just give it a second, it's going to start up. And there we can see it say Windows Server 22 Standard Evaluation. I'm going to take the desktop experience. You can see there, desktop experience is 64-bit. I'm going to click Next. Accept the license key. Pretty similar as 2019 and 2018. It's not much difference. It's exactly the same way of setting it up. Click New for configuring new partition. Remember what we talked about, the partition table in the previous video. Click Next. And now it's going to install. We can let it run and we come back once we're ready. Well, the paint is now dried. The machine is getting ready to restart. We have the last couple of things to set up before we can actually log into the server. And once we log into the server, we're going to join it to our hometest.org domain. It's pretty easy. This installation mostly took about 3-4 minutes to do. It's very quick. It also depends on how much resources you give your host base configuration in your VM and how fast it will take to download and install. So as you can see, so far, not much different at all to 2019. So far in the videos we've done, we haven't done any rocket science work. All we've been doing is doing some basic configuration. Remember, you can make it as complicated as you want. As you can set it up basically. You can use this as a guideline for you on how to set it up, and then you can go get really creative with it. And yeah, try not to break it in the beginning. Make a backup of your VMs. You can also take snapshots. We'll go into that a little bit later. I'll show you how that works. Now that the machine is restarted, just like with Windows 2019, we're going to have a default account which is administrator, and this is going to be our locally built-in administrator account. So give it a password and make sure you know where the password is. Write it down somewhere for yourself, or get yourself a password manager like KeyPass or Bitwarden. From there, let's add the password. Finish. And now we're going to get ready to log into our machine. Same process as before. Keyboard, insert, add our local admin password. There we have Windows Server 2022. So I see it shows connected, and it's connected already to the home internet.test.org. We haven't joined the domain yet, so we're going to quickly do that, and then after join the domain, I want to come and install the VM Tool Guest CD as well for the improvement of my virtual motherboard. So in this case, to join a domain, I like to go old school. I know there's different ways people do it. And go into, I right click on my PC. I'm going to go to properties. And you can see you can rename this PC. So number one, we can rename this PC, but we're going to need to restart the machine. And you can also go into down here where it's advanced system settings. So we're going to click advanced system settings because we can now change the host name, computer description, and we can join it to a group at the same time. So you can see if we click on change, just go back, change, we're going to call this same as what you called before, 122 hyphen home test. I just home 22 hyphen. We can join our domain as hometest.org. Hometest.org, make sure I spell everything correct. We click OK. It should prompt me with administrator's account box, which it does. Remember, we set up our domain admin account last night as Mike, and he was Mike. Remember, we called him Mike. Put in his password you created. Click OK. And it's now going to join our domain. Should give us the option to restart. See, it's thinking. It's giving us a spinning circle. There we have a pop-up box saying, welcome to hometest.org domain. We're going to click OK. And then it's going to ask us to restart the server. Just click OK, close, restart now. Once it restarts, it's just like when we build our domain controller. We're going to change from the local admin and we're going to log in as Mike, our domain administrator on this lab. We're also going to check out the IP address. Remember what the IP range was from last night, 172.72.72, and then we're going to see what the last octa is going to be for us when we sign in. Input, keyboard. Right, now we're going to go to other user, just like in the previous video. Before we click sign in, you can see at the bottom here, it says sign in to home test. That means we're going onto our new domain. Go to type here to search and just type in CMD, which is for command prompt. Open command prompt. And we're going to type in ipconfig /all. Let's see what all the information is around INIC. You can see our host name is 2022-hometest.org. We can see this is our Ethernet adapter, and this is our IP address, 172.72.72.50. Now, we can see this is our DHCP server. It's also our default gateway, and we know because we configure this as our Active Directory server. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head over to the AD, which is this one over here, and we're going to sign in. With our domain admin account. Cancel on that for now. We're going to head over to our Windows Start button. We're going to go to Administrative Tools. We're going to open Active Directory Users and Computers. We're going to expand User and Computers. We're going to go to our OU, Organizational Unit for Computers. And there is the server we just joined. It's already added to our Active Directory in our domain Active Directory Users and Computers. If you click on properties, you can actually see what the machine is and some information. You can add anything that's missing from it as well. You can create the machine as a different member on different groups. Remember, we haven't configured any groups as yet. We're just building out a basic outline for our home domain. So the next thing we do is we go down to our DHCP to confirm our DHCP. So we have our DHCP over here. We go to IPv4. We know we set up the scope last night. We're going to look at ours. Let's make it a little bit bigger for you. So you can see on our scope, underneath address pool, this is our server, 172.72.72.50. And it's only one that we built, and that's the one we've got now. It's a Windows Server 2022. So what you can use and purpose a server for, if you want, you can actually now go on and configure it to become an IIS server, or you can even build it as a WAM server, a network file server, an NFS server. So it's completely up to you what you want to do with your Windows Server 2022. This is the video for tonight. I hope you find it nice and informative. If you really like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share this video out. Guys, go out, build that IT knowledge, the skills that you can do all from your home lab without paying a fortune on cloud labs. Always good to know cloud technologies, familiarize yourself with Azure and AWS, but like, subscribe, and share this video.